14 past. I'm Comedy's 10 and B. Before we bring in Mark Rosen to the conversation, 10 and B, something I want you to ponder for a few minutes. When the personal chef for Bruce Springsteen, the Andre Fowles character, goes to Bruce's place in New Jersey and rattles the pots and pans, do you think he's also responsible for cleaning them, or does he have like an apprentice that comes with him?
Oh, I'm sure they have another person.
If you're a big time chef guy, right? It's like washing, dishwater hands, pots and pans. No thanks. So
it's like the doctor that performs a surgery and then he puts his hands up in the air and a nurse comes in and cleans everything up.
He just goes close, and then he goes and takes off. I think you're absolutely right. The legendary one knows a lot about restaurants. He used to own and operate one. He eats at many restaurants, very highly regarded restaurants, including Perkins and Hooters. It's none other than the legendary Mark Rosen. When you were at Hooters with your son, if your food came first, would you wait till your son's food came, or did you just dig right in?
Hell no.
No waiting?
No. I mean, no. Well, actually, I don't remember, but I probably did. And normally it's a matter of a minute or two.
Yeah.
There's a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode with Larry David sitting at the table with a mutual kind of friend, if you want to call him that, acquaintance. And Larry's food comes first, and the guy's looking at him like, well, you're going to wait, aren't you? And Larry's going, this is ridiculous. I just don't want to eat my food. Yeah. It's that awkward thing. But no, I probably waited. I think we see that. You go out with other couples or whatever the case may be, and it's difficult for restaurants to time everything out the way they want to. Like you guys were just talking about keeping some of the food under a warmer. That happens. But generally speaking, I think people do wait. I mean, real adults wait for everybody to get served before you start eating. So I think it's just common sense.
Tenneby is against it. Tenneby abides by the rule, but he doesn't like it.
I don't blame him. I mean, sometimes, and then I think a lot of it has to do with the people you're with. Because if you order some food that you don't want to get cold, and then your people you're with say, listen, go ahead, don't wait for me. Seriously, go ahead and start eating. Then you get the green light, and then you start eating. I mean,
that's why I think that generally happens. That's why I think that rule doesn't even really come into play, because we've all been in the situation. I think if you are the person that gets your food first, you pause, and then you wait for somebody generally will say, go ahead. You don't need to wait. And if it's me, I say the same thing. Go ahead. You don't have to wait. Or if I know,
most of the time, I think,
if I'm with you and I want to get you going, I'll go, what are you doing eating your food? Stop. Aren't you going to wait till I get mine? Yeah. And it would just be joking around.
But I think most of the time, people who do get their food first, you kind of feeling like, well, why isn't our friends or relatives getting served right now? And you kind of feel that antsy feeling in your stomach going, hey, I want to wait. I don't want to, I don't know what's taking so long. You get that whole thing. But, it's just common sense and common courtesy most of the time.
How's the recovery going? Feel better today? Tough day today?
No. Yeah.
Wait, what is it? Is there a lot of pain involved, or?
Yeah, I had, again, if people don't know, this just in, I had a total knee replacement a week ago, Monday. And, you're kind of teaching the knee how to operate. I mean, it's like getting a new knee, and all the muscles around it, all the nerves around it, the calf muscle, the thighs muscle, everything about it. And mentally, there are challenges as far as pushing through, because you just have to let it take its course. There's only so much you can do, and that's what I've been doing. Doing my exercises, as I mentioned. Karen's here; she's been doing phenomenal with that, and going to see my PT guy on Mondays, and then the nice ice machine, which is extremely important to kind of keep the swelling down. But just getting up and doing normal things. It's just it's not your second nature. You don't even think about hopping over here or whatever the case may be. So it sets you back mentally a little bit. But I'm fighting through it. I feel better this afternoon than I did this morning. But I'm not gonna lie, there are ups and downs. Everybody understands that when you go through something like this, and challenges, because you want to rush the process in your head. And then you realize this is going to take weeks. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take before I can drive again. I have no idea. I'm not going to rush it. I can't think about it. It's going to literally go, as they say, 1 hour at a time. And that's sort of where I'm at with it right now. And meantime, I try to get my rest, eat well, and watch World Cup soccer and, Twins and other movies and things we're watching. That's what you're dealing with. That's all.
Speaking of World Cup soccer,
yes,
the United States wins 2-0. They get a late goal and they get a shorthanded goal. They score when they're shorthanded. Our star player whose name I can't pronounce.
Balogun.
I
think that's his job.
He gets red carded, and so he not only was out for last night's game, he will miss the next game against Belgium. I gave up after it was 1-0, and I'll tell you why. Now, again, after the red card, that could have changed everything. It didn't. Obviously, they ended up getting another goal shorthanded and won. But after watching the first half of that game, that was as big a mismatch as I think I've ever seen in any sporting event ever. I mean,
what? Really?
Well, yeah, Bosnia never had a shot on goal for other than I think they couldn't even get the ball into the offensive zone. It was a complete and total mismatch, or else the United States was just playing on a whole nother level that they never play on. That was an absolute, and that's much like, you know, in the NCAA where they have 12 teams now in the football playoffs?
Right.
6 of those teams shouldn't even be in it. They shouldn't. They're not as good. They just aren't. And same with here. They started out with 48 teams. There's not even 32 teams that are evenly matched. There's probably 12 teams that should be in World Cup, but you can't hold a World Cup event with only 20. I understand that, but even though the score, 2-0 doesn't look like a real mismatch, Bosnia Herzegovina shouldn't have been on the same pitch. They're just not as good. It's not even close. Well,
and I think people who have been watching U.S. soccer and this world stage as long as we have understand that the benefit the U.S. has had so far in this tournament in particular is they haven't had to face one of the powers. They haven't faced France, Portugal, Spain, one of those teams which is down the horizon, we hope. I mean, this is the first time they've been to the, as they say, the Sweet 16, the round of 16 in forever, for Monday night's match against Belgium in Seattle. But that, it's not their fault. Like you always say, they don't schedule teams.
Oh, no, I'm not criticizing the United States in any way,
I understand that.
Saying the result of that game was determined early as far as I could see. And I mean, Belgium. But think about this. Not only did they win 2-0, they won playing 10 against 11. That's how much better. They didn't even need to play 11 guys to win that game.
Yeah, it's that's the controversial part of this. We're so used to watching, whether it's hockey or basketball in particular, winter sports, and where somebody could get 2 technicals were thrown out of the game. Okay, I know the NHL 10. You can weigh in this. You can get X number of major penalties or whatever. You can eventually get suspended, right? I mean, I think there's and the NBA obviously has that, but it's rare. I mean, imagine like saying Anthony Edwards is playing and he gets 2 technical fouls against the Spurs, and he not only gets kicked out of the game, but the Wolves have to play with 4 players the rest of the game, and good luck. And then not only that, but Ant then has to miss the next game. That's how punitive a red card is in a situation like last night, which was really weird because I think if you watched it, it looked accidental, but even taking into consideration, they didn't even give him a yellow card at first until they did the video review. And that's what the U.S. team in particular, a lot of fans are upset about is that, man, you kind of, this ref just blew it. And he's waiting for give him a yellow card. I understand that. Intentional or not, it was accidental, but he gets a yellow card, and it's got to really be, I think, over the top to get a red card in a World Cup game where you have to sit out the next game. Are you saying that because it's World Cup they should just let them play? No, I think there's a miscarriage. Well, I got several text messages from, and I'm assuming that I don't know if these people are accurate or not, but here's what it says. In soccer, regardless of intent, if your studs are up when you go for a tackle and make contact, you're getting a card. Full, clear contact was made, resulting in the red card. So it is what it is, even if there was no intent. If you come in and your cleats are up, it's a red card.
I'm not sure his cleats were up, though. I'm not either. I think they became up once he hit contact on the foot. That's what I think. Putting contact on the other player's foot caused the cleats to come up. I don't think he led with the cleats up, in my opinion. And again, I think it's got to be because of the grievous nature of the penalty, of the actual red card and the effect of it, especially in a World Cup tournament. I'm not saying you got to look the other way. We know how that goes with every sport. Name it, how we've watched American sports, and
the refs keep the penalty flag in their back pocket, or they keep the whistle in their pocket, whatever the case may be. They let the players decide the game and the match. But it's so punitive. Not only down to a man last night, but then you lose your best striker for the next game against Belgium. That's not like they're going to fold and go in the fetal position. They got other players that can pick up the slack and go. But I think it was just egregious in that nature, and especially when you have hopes of moving on, the sweets, the round of 8 after this. And then, obviously it's going to be a lot tougher if they're able to beat Belgium. And I have thought there might be an appeal process, but apparently there's not. So, Logan's going to miss the next game on Monday night against Belgium. But listen, it gets people talking. I mean, this is World Cup soccer. The U.S. has had such little success or opportunity to have the kind of rallies that we see, the fans rallying around town and having these watch parties and everything around the country. I mean, there isn't a better soccer city in the United States than Seattle. I can't imagine what that's going to be like on Monday night. I remember going there when the Minnesota Kicks played the Seattle Sounders at the old Kingdome, and they had some ferocious matches. But even back then, soccer was kind of king.
You were always a big Ace Nestlawenge guy, weren't you?
Ace Nestlawenge, yeah. I have such fond memories of all those players on the Kicks. And I know one of the guys listens to this show a lot, Alan Willie, the Artful Dodger. That was his nickname. He would text me off and on, but Alan was great. He had a historic game against Pele and the New York Cosmos at Met Stadium. I don't know how many goals he scored that night. I think the Kicks scored 9. But yeah, they were a lot of fun. I mean, Tino Lettieri, who's obviously still in town, and Alan Merrick was a player. He was a player, then a coach, and they had some Ron Futcher. I mean, I can remember these names. And Ace Nestlawenge was one of those colorful guys, and they had some big personalities. Fans loved it, but that was a colorful time for that sport. Just kind of getting into the scene of Major League Soccer here in Minnesota.
Many of the text messages that are coming into the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line regarding the controversial red card that was issued to the United States, everybody says it was the wrong call, and I'm wondering. And again, I don't know any of these text messengers or messengers personally, but. Is it because it was against the United States? That's why you think it was. See what I'm saying? I think sometimes fans of certain teams or countries or whatever the case may be, it's that their view of what happened, their opinion of or their interpretation of a rule is a bit jangled because it went against their team.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be that. We've seen that in all sports. But I think in this case that it took the ref to go to the video review. I mean, he's staring right at it. I mean, he couldn't see it, and they certainly could have given him a yellow right then and there. Maybe still looked at the review. I don't know how that process works, or who tips him off on it and takes a look at it and then realizes, okay, I blew the call. He's saying that to himself. Not only does he deserve a yellow, he deserves a red. He deserves to get ejected and miss the next game, all because of what I'm watching on the video review. I mean, I don't know. I think there's always going to be a tendency to say that. I think, generally speaking, when you have a situation like this in the World Cup, I mean, it's really got to be egregious. Maybe that's the interpretation. But, listen, good news for the U.S. They won.
Monday, is that the next game?
Yeah, Monday night against Belgium in Seattle. Yep,
give us your prognostication. Do you think we get by Belgium or not?
2-1, yes. They win the game.
Really? Yes. Now, they played a friendly earlier this year, and they lost to Belgium 5-2.
Yeah. They called it a friendly for a reason.
I know, but I'm just saying.
They're not going to be friendly on Monday night.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to win. But yeah, Belgium's good.
Very good.
They came back and won their last match.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. There's plenty more to get to with the legendary Mark Rosen, but Tennessee has a very important message for those listening that might be interested in putting some money in their pocket. What do you got, Tennessee?
Yeah, the fan has a chance to win $2,500. Just enter the keyword birthday at KFAN.com. Now that keyword is birthday. Enter now at KFAN.com.
He has the best seat in the house, and we're all better off for it. It's Mark Rosen with The Common Man.
past the hour. I'm Comedy's 10 to be Mark Rosen here as well. Time now for a peek at the pros. Brought to you by the Minnesota Golf Association. When you join the Minnesota Golf Association, the MGA, you can get more out of your game, like you'll receive a handicap index that allows players of all skill levels to compete on an equitable basis. You can enjoy a subscription to the award-winning Minnesota Golfer magazine, play top public and private courses through the MGA North Star Series, Senior Tour, and official state championships for all levels of play. In the ever-popular Youth on Course program, junior golfers can play for just $5 through Youth on Course at 150 courses statewide. Get more to your game. Join today, mngolf.org/membership, mngolf.org/membership. Tend to be the peak at the pros. What's the leaderboard? Where are they playing this week, by the way?
That's the John Deere Classic at TPC Deer Run in Silvis, Illinois. You know how in the future the PGA Tour is going to do like that Champions Tour and the Challenge Tour?
Yeah,
I don't know what this, I'm guessing, would be the lower tier.
This is the lower tier. This will stay. Matter of fact, this might even get eliminated. It's so low.
Yeah, not a lot of well-known golfers here. But your leaders right now at 8 under are Lucas Glover and Zach Blair. Both shot 8 under 63 today. One stroke back at 7 under. Lee Hodges, Stefan Jagger. You have moves like Jagger. Davis Riley, Ben Coles, and Patrick Fishburne are at 6 under. And then a bunch of names at 5 under, including Troy Merritt.
Spring Lake Park graduate.
Yeah.
Lucas Glover is a former U.S. Open champion. He won, 2006, 2004. I mean, it was a long time ago. But what's interesting is that's a guy that he's kept his game in good enough shape. He's got to be in his 40s for sure. I just know it. And but he's still making money out on the PGA Tour, making cuts and such like that. The legendary one, Mark Rosen, is with us as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Diana Russini, Kevin O'Connell text message thing. Apparently, I think everybody knows Diana's story. She was worked for The Athletic, insider, breaking news all the time, and some photos were snapped of her enjoying herself with others. With Mike Vrabel, she resigns. Vrabel, and there, there's obviously rumors of a extramarital relationship, but that's just rumors. No one knows for sure. Nobody does. But anyways, apparently on some podcast, she talks about a story about how she got out of a traffic ticket by showing the state trooper text messages that she had with Kevin O'Connell, and he said, by the way, the trooper was a Vikings fan, and he said, unfortunately, and anyway, the whole gist of it is there's it doesn't seem like there's anything this happens all the time, I guess. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know if you text and talk with coaches and players and owners and such. I do not. Of course, I'm really not your typical, looking to break news and be a reporter kind of a media guy. And I know it happens all the time, and there's really, I guess, nothing wrong with it. But it's the whole idea, and Tend to Be, and I talked about this for a segment earlier about, I'm always just kind of uncomfortable with when, I don't know if by texting and talking back and forth and stuff, if it's all just business, or if you actually become kind of friends with somebody, and then does it become harder to report on people? And are you not as critical of somebody's coaching decisions or the way they play in the field or the moves they make as a general manager? Because if you work with somebody long enough, and I know they don't work for the same, they don't work for the same organization, but you do work together. You cover a team. You're a reporter that covers a team. Can it get to the point where in some cases, and I'm not saying all, it's a little harder to believe whatever this person is writing or saying, because they might have a relationship where they don't want to say anything derogatory or critical of someone they're covering. Do you think there's anything?
I think it's a real slippery slope for a reporter, especially in these times with social media being as big as it is, and how people get their news, especially sports news, many times in little bits and pieces on social media. And for a national person like Diana Russini, who continues to try to kind of establish herself and reestablish herself in the marketplace. I mean, we saw her at training camp. Was it last year, wasn't it, when she was here? And kind of makes a show. I mean, I've been around any number of national reporters, women. I mean, and I could mention a whole bunch of men that are kind of like, you're trying to make it all about you. I just think that it's a real slippery slope when you start using that material that you have on your phone. Why would she even have to show that because she was saying that she was distracted by it or something? Is that why she wasn't paying attention to the road? Why was she pulled over? Why are you even sharing that information with the police officer at that point? I didn't understand that part of the story.
She thinks it'll impress the officer and get her out of a ticket.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And that crosses the line. It means nothing. It shouldn't mean anything to him. He can laugh about, I'm a Viking fan. I feel bad for you. You got a lousy quarterback or whatever the case may be. I just think that absolutely crosses the line as far as your integrity you have and whatever sources you have. That's fine. But using it in a way to potentially get out of a ticket, a speeding ticket or something, is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, look at right now. I think talk to any of the beat reporters here, people who are nationally. I mean, I saw Courtney Cronin a couple of weeks ago. Ding, she's used to work here covering the Vikings, and now she's doing the Bears and all the rest of the stuff for ESPN. And she's a pro's pro, and she knows how to cultivate sources and use the people you have in that source catalog for information. And use it in the right way. But I think that most reporters, the vast majority, knows that this is a line you're not going to cross. I think more of the inside information, especially now when you're talking about free agency, whether it be NBA, NHL, whatever it might be, comes from a lot of the agents. And that's where the relationships, the reporters aren't so much just with the athletes, it's more with the agents. The agents are anxious to get their word out, whatever their story they want to tell, whether, I don't know, we're weighing a whole bunch of things. I wouldn't say they're the leader in the clubhouse right now, or this, to eventually give the reporter the scoop on the signing of player A or player B. Those relationships are set up with the reporters, and those are ones you need to cultivate. Completely understand. That's probably the best way to go. That's probably your best source. The athlete's not going to offer much. Many times the athlete doesn't even know until the agent tells them anyway. So they might be the worst person to talk to. But I think it's just kind of a weird time right now. Then of course the personal stuff that gets involved with it, and I don't know how all that's going to shake out. But what her,
What and you talk about how the media can actually be manipulated. Some tend to be brought up an example today.
Sure.
Now, this isn't to say that Russo has been manipulated, but what did Russo say about Jack Clark? Is it Jack?
It's Jack Hughes.
So Jack Hughes. Hughes. So.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because setting it up, the Wild, they've expressed, they might want to go after a Larkin, right? And the Red Wings, Yzerman probably wants to play hardball, get the most he can, and so then tend to be, what is Russo?
Yeah, in the story regarding the Wild's first day of free agency and just where the Dylan Larkin thing is at, he wrote, "The summer is far from over, and the Wild believe they are still in the mix for Larkin, and who knows who else, parentheses, Jack Hughes, question mark?"
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, is he throws out Jack Hughes? Is he musing on his own, or does he know that Guerin has said we have interest in Clark, and so then
Jack Hughes,
and then Guerin wants that to get out into the media so that Yzerman sees it. So it's like, oh, they do have other options, huh? Well, in other words, it's like it's sort of a negotiating through the media kind of a thing, right? That probably happens all the time, right?
It does, and no one has more credibility in terms of day-to-day coverage than Michael Russo has. So, but again, that very well may not be Bill Guerin. It might be an agent that's
or an agent, right? Exactly.
Yeah, that's sniffing around, and so he could plant the seed, and he could certainly have that effect on trying to go after, making sure that Steve Yzerman knows, hey, listen, you might be the music might stop, and you might be holding the cards, but you got a guy who doesn't want to be there anymore, already stripped him of his captainship, and you want Matt Boldy, well, you're going to have nothing now. I mean, not that the Wild are the only team that could end up with Larkin, but yeah, that's the way the game is played, and Russo has no one to apologize for. He's got his sources, and whether it's an agent or man himself, that's just the way the game's played. But he does a hell of a job reporting.
Absolutely,
it. That's all he has to do.
And I'm not suggesting that.
No,
Russo is that what he is reporting Or he does with a question mark. It's like, if that's what he's hearing, that's what he's hearing.
Sure.
Right? Or because I don't think he's just guessing. I think he's probably heard something.
No, he's not.
Let's go ahead and take our final break out of several other topics I want to bounce off of Mark Rosen. We'll do that next here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
You're listening to the Common Man with Mark Rosen on the Fan.
Some people say soccer culture doesn't.
Final segment of the show today. Final segment for the week. It's best of tomorrow. I think most people have tomorrow off.
Oh, boy.
4th of July Eve. I'm Comedy's 10 to be Mark Rosen here as well. You're getting ripped. This text message says, Mark, there's no difference between using your contact list to get out of a ticket and using it to get a table at a busy Perkins. Have you ever used your contacts to get a busy table at Perkins?
I refuse to answer that question.
See, what's different? Here's another one. Did I just catch that slip up from Rosie? He said he ran into Courtney Cronin, who works for the Bears.
Yeah.
Was Rosie in Chicago on business?
Yes.
Why were you discussing the Bears with her?
Well, because we're friends with her.
Oh.
We had dinner with, we were in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, more than a few weeks ago now. And Karn and Courtney know each other very well. And I obviously know Courtney from her time here in Minnesota. We've stayed in touch. And that was when we saw Kevin Warren, his family, his daughter graduated from law school at Notre Dame that weekend, and we saw them. But we had dinner with Courtney. We really didn't talk too much shop. It was more other stuff. But yeah, it was great. Yes, of course I keep up with people.
All right.
It's nice.
All right.
Okay, but thanks for checking.
Rosen made a career out of cultivating sources, courtside and luxury box ticket sources, that is, and he's still working hard at it, even in semi-retirement. He never stops working. You're supposed to say, okay.
Larry Mondello guy.
Yeah, that was Larry Mondello guy.
It was not Maury Amsterdam guy.
No, this was Larry Mondello guy. He never, talk about never working. He's constantly working you over. He never stops. It's unbelievable.
Does he have a job? I'm not kidding. I love Larry Mondello.
I don't know.
Because he's obviously paying attention to this show, the program, 5 days a week. And certainly when I'm on 3 days a week, doesn't miss a beat, doesn't miss a moment, and is ready to pounce like a big cat on any statement that's made. I think it's hilarious, but good for him. He gets away with it.
I just got looped in on this. Maybe you heard this and saw the video. Walker Jenkins.
I did see the
Minnesota
video.
Twins prospect. It was Tuesday. Okay, before the game, they're doing the national anthem, and the team's lined up, and there's a kid. I don't know what the situation was, but there were kids between each player, right?
Right.
So kids were getting a on-game, pre-game kind of a thing. And during the national anthem, a boy that was standing next to Jenkins staggered and started to faint. Jenkins grabbed him, picked him up, ran him over to the dugout, got to the dugout. He got medical attention. He had been out in the sun all day and was dehydrated. The team's athletic trainer got him cooled down and hydrated. Medics checked him out, and thankfully it was okay. But how about that? If you watch the video, Jenkins doesn't hesitate at all. He sees the kid kind of staggering to faint, just picks him up and runs him to the dugout. Heroic. Yeah, and very super.
Yeah, it was. Well, listen, his instincts are 100% correct. He wasn't going to wait for to wave someone over to help with the kid. Correct. He just picked him up and brought him over there. Probably assessed the situation very quickly. And let's hope 99% of the time in a situation like that the young boy was dehydrated. We know how hot it was here in the Twin Cities the other day, and it doesn't. You don't have to be an adult to have hydration issues like that, and it can hit you at any time. And it sounds like the kid is doing fine, but good for Walker and good for everybody who attended to him immediately, because you see the video of something like that and go, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's frightening because he's staggering and you can see there's on his face, you can see that he's fainting.
He is. So good for him that he took care of business right away.
Let me ask you if you're in my camp. I'm kind of getting LeBron'd out. I mean, anywhere you look, it's where's LeBron, and he's done this so many times. It's that it's to the point where, like, pick a team, sign with them, and then get back to us. Because it almost is like, I don't know how long he's going to milk it. I do believe he's one of those guys that likes the attention, and that this is going to go on for a while before he makes any kind of decision. But I'm kind of LeBron'd out. How about you?
Well, I think we've kind of gone through. I mean, the two athletes I think that come to mind when situations like this occur are Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James. And I think LeBron used up most of his cachet with the public, with the big announcement going to South Beach, taking my talents. You know, people have been running that soundbite forever, and you know he cashed in on it with a couple championships down there. But we're at the point now, and he's at the point of his career where I agree. Whatever you want to do, you can still play basketball. You don't have to, you're obviously not going back to LA, but to have this 24/7 attention given to it is maddening. Now, I said the other day with you, I said if Minnesota were to sign him, which is still a long shot, I think it would be probably the biggest day that we've ever had here, one single day. And we can argue about the Favre situation, because I don't think that when the Vikings signed Brett Favre, I don't think people are going, well, Super Bowl, here we come. It's like Favre was coming off a mediocre year, injury-plagued year.
Do you think people would say if we signed LeBron, they would say NBA Finals, here we come?
Some people would. Yeah. I think they'd put him on a different stratosphere, because I think LeBron, one of the reasons, the criteria he's kind of laying out there with his agent, like I insist on being around a team that has got other really top-notch players. I can't be that guy anymore. But I agree. I mean, we're watching LeBron's entire career. I mean, LeBron and Kobe and Steph Curry. I mean, we've had a generational full of ultimate stars that we've had been the joy to watch. But we're getting to the end for Steph as well, and that's why I'm thinking, well, does he really want to hook up with Golden State with feeling like you're playing in a senior league almost? Not that those guys aren't going to win a bunch of games, but Draymond and LeBron and Steph Curry, and I don't know. I think it's probably the best odds to me that he'd probably go back to Cleveland, try to run it back one more time with the Cavs. But we'll see. I mean, but again, you're right. I mean, it's like, get back to me when you get it done. If I put on ESPN one more time and watch a roundtable discussion about this, I'm going to get ill. I mean, it's too much. It is, but they know how to work it. So what we were just talking about reporters and agents. Was it Rich Paul? LeBron's agent was being interviewed by someone the other day. Like, how many agents? I mean, how many of the those top-notch reporters are insiding with him every single day? Give me who wants this? How are you going to get this scoop? How is it going to be announced? What agent, Shams, he'll break the story? Probably 98% he probably will. Unless LeBron scoops everybody and does it himself. I don't, but it'll be nice when it's over. It just started.
I was reading a piece in The Athletic about LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And this, her name that wrote the piece is Candace Buckner. And she writes, and I have no idea. It says in an episode of, is it a podcast or I don't know. It says in an episode of one of LeBron's pet projects, Uninterrupted, The Shop, he chopped it up with Quinta Brunson, Donald Childish Gambino Glover, and Jay Balvin, as well as Ravens QB Lamar Jackson. To his celebrity friends, James colorfully explained why he wouldn't be hanging it up soon. I'm trying to squeeze as much juice out of this bleeping orange that I can while I can. Then it says he also revealed how he views his time in the NBA. I feel like every season for me is just like a movie. Every season is like a movie, and I'm like living in it. I'm the star in the movie. Like it feels dope as bleep. I feel like Batman, Black Panther, all of them. Wow. I mean,
well, he's been the chosen one ever since.
When you're idolized and pedestalized like he is by fans and media alike, you do start thinking you're a movie star. He thinks this is a movie about him. It's wow.
Well, he's taken his brand, which he started out. I mean, in comparison with just finishing up a book on Larry Bird, and it's astonishing to read about how he avoided almost at all costs. Of course, he's playing basketball in French Lick, Indiana, and not exactly the same sort of circumstances, but his personality is complete opposite of LeBron's. But he and Magic were coming in and saving the NBA. Really, they did save the NBA when they both came into the league. But LeBron has been, as I say, the chosen one ever since he came out of high school. And he's already mentioned that he's going to do like a documentary on this season, no matter where he ends up playing. So absolutely, he's thinking, big picture. And I bet the guy I know very well, Andy Thompson, is probably going to be the guy that's going to work on it. I just have a feeling I know he was working with LeBron and some other projects. Michael Thompson's younger brother. This is the way he thinks. It's always about the branding. Obviously he wants to win. He's a super competitive human being, but he understands that he's LeBron James. And so he has all these opportunities to kind of expand the brand that never seems to end with LeBron. And it's, like I said, it's been that way since he's 18 years old.
I think I come up with a nickname for this Twins club, the Lumber Company. I mean, what do you think of this team? Brilliant. They have scored more runs than they have the top offense in the American League. They just do. Now, it's fifth in all of baseball, but number one in the American, or sixth in all of baseball, sixth of all in baseball. Now, they're still below 500, but they won last night, and they're hanging around, Mark.
Well, that's why it makes me all the more aggravated because of the way they had the fire sale the relief pitchers last year. If they had one of those guys right now, Duran or Louis Varland, this team would be probably in first place right now.
You think so?
Very likely. How many saves have they blown? Or how many runs have they? Yes, they very likely. They're not like 7 games out.
There's no rules. You can't trade for a guy though. Just because they don't have him now doesn't mean they can't get him. Right?
And you think they'll do that by the deadline? I mean, do you think they'll actually turn the wheel around?
Here's what I'll tell you.
Put the brakes on the Titanic?
Yeah, well, here's why I think they will. Here's why I think they will. I'm basing this on interpreting what Tom Pohlad has said since he took over from his younger brother Joe. Mm-hmm. He said he's admitted, now this is paraphrasing, but he realizes that the ownership's reputation with the fans is not very good, and they need to change that. And how far would it go to say, yeah, let's say by the trade deadline, they're right around 5. They're 3 or 4 games out of 500, but let's say they are 3, 4, 5 games out of first place. Let's say right now is trade deadline. They're this close. They're right. They're at the heels of the White Sox. They're in the wild card competition. You go out and you are a buyer instead of a seller. That would go a long way with getting the fan base back on your side because it would send a message saying it is going to be different now, at least for this season. And that's what many of us have only asked is when you feel like you're in contention now, contention in the American League and contention to win a World Series are two different things. I get that. But still, if you have a chance to win the division and get to the playoffs, I think that's when that's when the window's open, at least for this season. You don't have to make a blockbuster move where you try to trade for Ohtani, because obviously that's not going to happen, but you go out and get help for that bullpen. And all of a sudden now the fans go, hey, looks like we're actually trying for the first time in a long time. I think it would go a long way as helping the business, the Minnesota Twins reputation and their business as a whole, don't you?
Well, not only would it send the message common to the fans, but I would say equally as important would it send a message to that clubhouse and the manager, Derek Shelton. We're not giving up on this thing. We like what we see. You guys are hitting the ball all over the park. Buxton's been in and out of the lineup of late. Royce Lewis is back. They're getting contribution. Larnick's having a terrific season. He's been stroking the ball as well as I've ever seen him, and he's hitting the ball all over the place. And I'd be like, hey, listen, we think we can steal this division right now. This is surprising to us. Again, like you said, they're not have to go out to they're not going to get the number one relief pitcher in baseball, but there are a lot of players that are going to be out there because his other teams will be selling as well, and for all sorts of reasons. And it probably wouldn't cost them all that much to get someone. I mean, if I see, what's his name, Funderburk, going out of the bullpen one more time, I'm going to lose my lunch. Yeah. I mean, I just can't, you lose some of the Adams, all these guys they have their moments of success, but every single time it's like teetering on a cliff watching these guys pitch in late innings, and the Twins, no lead is safe for them. And yet you get a performance like last night. Again, the starting pitching, Taj Bradley, what, he had 10 strikeouts last night? And now they have a day off today, and guess where they go this weekend? Yankee Stadium. Yep. How that's been their kryptonite for all these decades. But the Yankees are sliding like crazy, and they're not even in first place anymore.
Bring on the Yankees is what I say, Mark.
Bring on the bums. Yes, I agree.
So, be fun. And that's why, because Pohlad understands, Tom, how the public views ownership. And he knows it better than anybody, right? He lives it. And so if he really is intent on getting the fans back on the side of ownership, creating more excitement about the club, You don't go in if come trade deadline, you can even do it before trade. There's nothing that says you couldn't even make it. It would even be better if they made a trade now. But I think you wait to trade deadline because more names do become available when teams that thought they were going to be in contention and have have several good arms in the bullpen aren't going to be in contention. They're willing to part ways with those in the Twins. All the pull-out pocket protectors have told me that the Twins farm system is really deep right now. They have a lot of players at position players, pitchers, and so you can give up. Sometimes you have to give up something like a good prospect in order to get relief help. I think it wouldn't erase everything that how the Polaz have operated the franchise since Carl and Eloise weren't involved anymore after they passed away. But I think it would go a long ways in getting it in the right direction again.
Well, it would be something against the Polad name in terms of not the perception, the reality of how they've conducted their baseball business. And we all know what's looming potentially with the lockout, et cetera, but that's can't worry about that right now. Like you said, you're not going to go out and spend $10 million, but you have an opportunity to add a body of two to maybe put you over the top, without, emptying the war chest and not affecting their bottom line that much. But it also, from a business standpoint, they'd probably make it up in a hurry. I mean, with the fans that would probably come back, and they're kind of paying attention to this team a little bit more right now. And when that happens at the end of July, the Vikings will be back in training camp. You got whatever before the Wild and Wolves start their camp, the Gopher football team. You know how this is all cyclical, but the Twins would have an opportunity to kind of sneak in there. Go, hey, don't forget about us. We got an opportunity here. Well, go ahead and show us, prove it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't just talk about it, do it.
Wild trade Middleton and some picks and get a couple of guys in return. Tend to be Coleman, defenseman. Is that what you said?
No, Blake Coleman's a forward.
Forward.
Olimata is the defenseman.
He's the defenseman.
Right. Coleman won a couple Stanley Cup. Coleman won a couple Stanley Cups for Tampa Bay back-to-back seasons, and sounds like one of those guys. Was he 34? I think. One of those guys that'll fit in pretty well. I remember I was listening to Louis one day with Barrero, and he was talking about everyone was talking about the Larkin kid, and Louis' point was, I think we need more of these kind of players that they just traded for today. To get those guys, and then they got it picked up with a Maxim, what's his name, Shabarov from the Islanders. They signed him to a deal. But yeah, I think they're not going to get the superstar. I don't think. I don't know if Guerin will be able to pull that off. But this team needs more, more size, more this, more that. But I hope this fits a lot of the pieces, because otherwise it's been a pretty slow start to free agency for Bill Guerin and the Wild. But they picked up the pace quite a bit today, and hopefully it all works out.
4th of July weekend. What will you? I know you're convalescing. You're recuperating. Will you do anything, or are you just sitting at home?
Right now,
that's you can do,
pretty much it. Yeah. I really can't. I could get via a car. I can't drive.
Right.
But I potentially go somewhere. I probably won't be doing much of that. But no, I'll be gazing at the river and watch some fireworks and just enjoy our friends and family, and thankfully I got a wonderful wife who's celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday, honey.
Oh, today?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's her birthday. Yeah.
On the 4th of July.
The 3rd of July.
3rd of July. I'm sorry, 3rd of July.
Yeah.
It's on the 3rd.
She said, I want to celebrate my birthday the same day that Taylor Swift gets married. I said, okay. All right.
I think Emily here at the radio station, I think her birthday is tomorrow as well.
Is it really Emily's birthday?
Either tomorrow or the 4th of July, but for some reason I thought it was tomorrow.
Yeah. No, otherwise I'll just be hanging out. That's all I can do right now. Not much I can do. That's okay. It's all right. Ease the pace a little bit. What are you doing?
I'll be at home watching the John Deere Classic.
Yeah.
Sure you will.
I don't know. I might change it up, go golfing or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
I think I'm going to play tomorrow, and then I'm probably going to play Saturday before tee to green, and then I know I'm playing Sunday. Tenneby and I are going to go out and stick a tee in the ground.
I heard you guys talk about that.
Yeah. So I think I'll play some golf. Just something different to do.
I think that sounds like a really good idea. So I hope you enjoy yourself for the first time.
I don't know. My wife will. She always, and we always tell her. When I say we, me and the two boys, you don't have to go above and beyond the call of duty. So she'll want to make a big 4th of July. We got to have hamburgers or hot dogs and potatoes. That's like, We don't need to do that. We can just get Jimmy John's. Give yourself a break. But that's
Jimmy John's.
Well, whatever. I'm just throwing it out. Just that.
I know.
Yeah. Don't you like Jimmy John's?
I do. But I just think it's 4th of July.
I know, but but she's the only one that does the cooking. So then it's all on her. And then she wants to make sure there's a little of everything. And it's like corn on the cob and watermelon. It's like, you don't have to go that far. I mean, we appreciate it, but you don't have to do it. So, but that's what I'll probably end up doing. She'll be rattling pots and pans all weekend long for us.
I do like that Jimmy John's now toasts some sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh, they do?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like my sandwiches warm rather than cold.
I do too.
So.
I'm with you.
Well, have a safe weekend, everyone.
Yeah, you too, Mark Rosen, and we'll talk to you next week, I'm assuming. Very good. The legendary one, Mark Rosen.